What's up, YugiTube? Doubleshot back here. Now, if you missed my last video, I stated that I'll be bringing back my old segment, deck reviews. Now, if you guys missed what deck reviews are just me talking about certain decks or whatever that we have the current format, and how they're viable, how you can beat them, and why you should run them. But with Nats this coming weekend, I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but anyway, with Nats this coming weekend, I will be talking about 6 particular decks that I personally feel like will be making the push at winning the event and representing the United States at Worlds. And if you missed it, those 6 decks again will be Sylvans, Hat, Madoche, Bujins, Light Sworns, and Geargias. Now, last video, if you guys missed it, check it out on my channel, was Madoche's. Now, I would try to post 2 videos a day, and today's 2 videos is Monday. The 2 videos for today will be Madoches and Geargias. As I previously just stated, Madoches are already on my channel. Check that out. But for these next 3 days, it's just going to be me talking about them. But in the future, do expect to hear input from other duelists as well. Especially guys who actually run these decks. Like, if you guys remember Ming, he actually runs Madoches. Unfortunately, I could not get him for my Madoche video. But anyway, the good thing is I do run Sylvan, so when I do the Sylvan video, I have perfect experience to talk about. But anyway, moving on to the Geargias. Like I said, Geargias would be one of the decks heavily represented and heavily played at Worlds. Prior to the ban list, this was my pick to actually win the event. Although, you know, a few months ago, my picks has changed 3 times. A few months ago, I had Bujins winning it, and then I realized how good Geargias were, and then it was Geargias, and then the ban list hit, and then now it's Madoches. But anyway, before the ban list, I had Geargias winning the event, because Geargias were a deck that was always good, but it wasn't really being played until after the Dragon format. And then after the Dragon format, everybody's playing Murmils again, and Murmils, Fire Fist, Evil Swarms, and Bujins. Then, out of nowhere, you know, Geargias started to make their rise again, and it wasn't like the deck was never bad. The deck was good, it was just nobody touched it. And, you know, one thing about a deck is, people don't realize is that just because the deck's not played doesn't mean it's not good. Just because the deck's popular doesn't mean it's not the best deck. But the thing about Geargias is, if I remember correctly, it came out and Return of the Duelist along with Prophecy. And Prophecy was like the deck that came out, like that was the #1 deck that came out in Return of the Duelist, along with Madoches and Geargias. But like I said, all the focus is on Prophecy to the point where Geargias got completely ignored. And so I guess some people ran it, and then these coming formats that came up, and we've seen it a rise in play out of Geargias. But what makes Geargias good, or a lot of things that I stated makes Madoches good. And as you can see, I have my little notes here. But anyway, Geargias. I don't know too much about them, but I've done my research on them. And what I can tell you about them is that, 1, they have some pretty good recyclability. Now, not as good as Madoches, but they do have good recyclability with their key cards. Along with their recyclability, they have amazing searchability. They can search almost any card they need whenever they need it. Another good thing about them is that their consistency. That's one big thing that you'll find in this game, is what makes that good, is its consistency. If it's not consistent, chances are it's not meta. And Geargias are meta. The reason why they have good recyclability, searchability, and consistency are the fact that their cards that they have manipulate, you know, each other to the point where it makes the deck itself very viable. The main 3 cards, there's only really 3 cards I want to talk about, although I'm pretty sure any Geargias player will probably tell you, oh, well, there's like a bunch of cards in my deck that I feel like are the best, and this is why I run this, and this is why I run that, and this is why I take that. So you roll. I'm only talking about 3 cards. I only researched 3, and I didn't feel like researching more. You got a problem with it? Go research it yourself. Anyway, to start out, I want to talk about Geargia Armor. Geargia Armor is great because, in a way, it kind of reminds me of Ghost Tricks in its ability to flip itself face down or whatever and reuse its effect, which makes it a great card. I mean, I feel like any card that does that is great. And in a way, it's exactly what Ghost Tricks probably should have been. But anyway, for those who don't know what Geargia Armor does, it's pretty much states that once per turn you can flip this card face down or whatever. When it's flipped face up, you can search. If I'm not mistaken, you can search a Geargia monster and add it to your hand. The good thing about Geargia Armor, though, is that its defense is at 1,900, which it's not the best defense, but it's a pretty solid defense. Which means that whenever somebody tries to run it over, you know, you can, if the card's under 1,900, you know, you're not going to get over it. At the same time, you get to flip it over. So, you know, I guess the reason for it being out 1,900 is so that if somebody tried to ram it over and they fail, you still have your Gear armor on board. But it doesn't matter because they still have it at 3 anyway. Like I said, it lets you search other Gear cards or whatever, and add them to your hands that you can use. So that's why, if you notice and something I've noticed it, and I'm pretty sure some of you have noticed it, when Geargias players tend to play, they tend to set some back row first, and they'll set one card, and that's usually their Gear armor. And once that's flipped or whatever, they usually make it so that by their second turn, that card is flipped over, and they have that search that they can play off of or whatever. The second card I want to talk about, like I said, I want to talk about 3. One's a main deck card. Well, actually, 2 are main deck cards. One's extra deck card. The extra card I want to talk about, if we all don't know what it is already, is Geargias, Geargianic X. Sorry, I don't know why I messed that up. But yeah, if you guys know what it does, it pretty much just states it's 2 machine level 4 monsters, and you can attach one of its materials and add to your hand 2 Geargias monsters. Is it there? Yeah, it's 2. But like 2. Like, come on. It literally just says if you get my Geargias X. By the way, it's 23,000. It's 2,300 attack. So it's kind of hard to get over anyway. But it's pretty much saying if you get my Geargias Gigantic X off the board, I'm probably going to make another one the next turn anyway. But, and the worst thing about it is, it's like, with Geargias X, it kind of makes you wonder, do you want to get off the board? Because its last effect reads, when it leaves the field, you can special summon, I think it's a 2 Geargias, either 1 or 2 Geargias, I can't remember. Geargias monsters from your graveyard. Or from your hand too, I'm not sure. I have to do my research on it again. But yeah, it's pretty much saying that, this goes back to its recyclability and its consistency. Because, once you get rid of like one of its boss monsters are giving you more of its cards so that you can get the boss monster back and then form another card. And the dangerous thing about Geargias is the fact that, I know we all have seen it, a Geargias player probably will never go a day at an event where they don't get 3 Geargias Giant X's on the board. Now they probably with the new ban list, but I've seen it like almost all the time where a Geargias player will play and he'll wind up a few turns later with 3 Geargias Giant X's on the board. I've seen it happen in a mirror match where there were 6 of those bad boys on the board, and it was just like all out war. They get their big boss monster out and have all these searches, and all these searches, and all these searches. It thins their deck out for when they do have to actually draw, they can get what they need. But when they do draw, they're going to get this third card I want to talk about. And the main thing about this third card is this was the card that Konami felt necessary to limit so that the deck would be slowed down. And that card, if you guys don't know, is Geargias Gear. Now, the card itself, it's a really good card. It's a trap card if you guys don't know. When the card is activated, you can special summon 2 Geargias or Geargiano, whatever it was, monsters, 2 level 3, or sorry, hold on, looking at this. Special summon 2 Geargiano monsters from your deck. Sorry, and then you can increase the level by 1. So you can special summon 2 3s and make them both 4. Overlay, and there's your Gigantic X. So it just makes the deck so much faster by that. And it makes it more consistent because at the same time, while you're special summoning these 2 monsters and making this guy, Gigantic X, at the same time, you can attach one of them, send it to the graveyard, add it to your hand, and just, keep making shenanigans and shenanigans and shenanigans. But with that one, the dangerous thing about it is, for Geargias players, is you can potentially draw it too early and waste it. Because if you use the Geargias Gear too early, then you don't have an additional 2 in your deck to know that you can use later on in the game. The shameful thing about it is now you only have it at 1. So it's like if you have it late game, it's great. Let's face it. Late game, in a grind game, you drop the Geargias Gear and all of a sudden, I can flip the game around. Because now you have an amazing presence. At the same time, it's like if you draw too early, like I said, you don't know if you want to use it or if you want to hold on to it. It makes you have to play more smart and more wise. And it's going to make either Geargias players do one of the 3 things. It's going to make them better, it's going to make them worse because they're going to keep playing the same way they've been playing, which you probably won't be able to do with 1 Geargias Gear. Or 3, it's going to make them disappear because we're going to have less Geargias players playing Geargias since it's got hit. Now, it might jump to play Midodres or some other card or some other deck that currently got a structure deck that everybody decides is the best deck ever now that it's a freaking structure deck. Lightsworns. Tired of seeing them. But anyway, I'll get to Lightsworns when I get to Lightsworns on their video. But anyway, Yeah, the deck is still pretty viable, but at the same time, that Geargia gear, it slows the deck down a little bit. But like I said earlier, don't forget the fact that they still have Geargia armor to do their searching for them. Also, the Geargias X when that leaves the field or whatever. Now, I just want to talk about some quick cards I feel like can hurt them. The obvious system down, because, you know, drop a system down, banish all machine type monsters in your graveyard and on the field. Like, that's not effective at all, you know? The card might be a little overpowered if it wasn't for the fact that the only machine type monsters, machine type decks out there that anybody are even thinking about playing are Geargias, Cyber Dragons, and Gimmick Puppets, but whatever. And another card, and this is why I also compare them to Midoches, is that, XYZ Universe. Like I said, if you guys do not remember, give me a second. I actually have the card around here somewhere. Yes, XYZ Universe. This bad boy right here. If you guys do not know what it does, I will read it to you. Target 2 face-up XYZ monsters on the field, send both monsters to the graveyard, then special summon one XYZ monster from your extra deck, except a number monster, so no number monsters, whose rank is equal to or less than one less than the combined original ranks of those two XYZ monsters, and if you do, detach this card to it as an XYZ material. If you activate this card, your opponent takes no further damage this turn. I had to read this effect because last time I botched it without looking at it. But if you guys still don't understand what the heck it does, let me just put it right there for you guys to look at. I don't really know how good the focus is. Let me see if I can help you guys a little bit. Yeah. Well, if you guys can read that, read it, pause the video, whatever. But still, the card it's a great card. It's a great set card. It's a great side deck card. It makes people who run only rank 4s, gives them access to rank 8s like Helio, not number 15, I'm sorry, no number monsters. Helio, Divine Dragon, Felgen Dragon or whatever, Draco Sack, Big Eye. You know, it gives them access and brings another dimension to their game. Some people I've even seen main deck this card, which is kind of crazy, but some people manage to get it off. I mean, we've seen crazier things in this game. But anyway, it's a great card against Geargias because at the same time it gets rid of the Geargias X, but again, at the same time, remember Geargias X second effect. So it's something you kind of want to be slow about using. And this is, you know, this is, like I said, a great tech card against Midoches too. The issue is, you know, Midoches are better than Geargias probably now. That's debatable, but I think they're better. That's why I'm kind of upset that, you know, the ban list came out before Nationals, because I would love to see Geargias at full power against Midoches at full power, and like the World Championship or whatever, or Nats Championship to see who wins. I think that'd be pretty cool. But anyway, yeah. But back to Geargias. Crazy searchability, great spam ability when they need it. Recycling's there, consistency's there. It's a great deck. I would not be surprised if it took, I would say, 4th place, maybe 3rd place. Top 16, top 32 definitely. But you know, it's just hard for me to really sit here and say that it's going to be, you know, like 2nd place, maybe even 1st place after the ban list. But it's still a good deck. I'm not taking anything away from any of you Geargias players. You guys run great decks. I'm pretty sure, you know, we'll see some heavy, you know, Geargias players there. I don't mean heavy set, but heavy amount of people playing the deck at Nats. And it's going to be doing some things too. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your feedback. Also, give me some feedback on the Midoche video. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the Midoches at Nats. But yeah, stay tuned. I'm done for today, but tomorrow I will be doing videos. In case you guys do not know what those videos are, hold on, I have them here somewhere. I've decided that tomorrow's 2 videos are going to be on... Sorry, give me a second here. I have to find them because, like an idiot, I closed my book. Alright, here we are. Tomorrow's videos, if you don't know, will be on Sylvans and Lightsworns. Yes, the 2 decks that pretty much mill the heck out of their decks to the graveyard. Even though one excavates and the other one mills. But anyway, stay tuned for that. Love to hear your feedback. Like, comment, subscribe. Later, guys. Rubber Shot out. Have fun.